Yo, what's up? This is Aaron.
And this is Connor.
Yo, we just did the Tash Pawtcast. We had a wonderful time. Hopefully you like what the content we putting down. Hopefully you'll like our products. Like, subscribe, check us out down below.
You sure? A thumbs up? We are live. All right. Tash Pawtcast, episode 6 with the guys from Fernway. I'm sitting with Connor, sitting with Aaron.
What up, though?
And I'm sitting with Mason.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha that time. All right, first and foremost, what does everyone do with Fernway? And what is Fernway? Who's gonna take the...
Fernway's a leading cannabis brand in Massachusetts, Jersey, New York, and more states coming online soon. We make vape products, terpene-infused joints that are probably the best in class with a ceramic tip and known for our consistency around the state. Started right here in Northampton.
Sounds like that's his job to do that, huh?
Yeah, that's his job.
Guess what I do? Sales.
That's what I figured. So okay. So and you're in sales in
Yep.
Fernway.
I run the Boston North Shore region, so one of the largest zones in Massachusetts. All in all, we're in about 175, 180 accounts in the state.
Dope. And yourself?
My name is Aaron Hackney. I run sales for the entire nation for Fernway, so New York, Massachusetts, and New Jersey.
Okay.
My name is Mason Helsel, and I do Director of Commercial Strategy, so I do a bunch of brand stuff, how the brand interacts with you, pricing, the whole nine on how the brand kind of speaks to the consumer.
Okay. All right. So Fernway. All right. How did it start? Origin story.
Fernway was started by 4 friends. They grew up smoking weed together, all went their separate ways into different careers. Around 2018, the market in Massachusetts was out of control. You had no good quality, failure rates. It didn't taste the same every time you bought the same products. There was no strength.
You're talking about dispensaries?
Dispensaries. So okay. Fernway's always been on the legal market side. So
I understand that, but you're saying that when everything wasn't
early on in cannabis, when there wasn't a lot of brands out there wasn't anyone doing anything outside of the regular. They were just sort of making a product, putting it in packaging, and putting it out there.
And when'd your brand come into play?
So we started in 2018.
2018?
Yep. So that's
celebrating 3 years coming up, right? Mm-hmm. Well, started in 2018, but...
we got to market in 2020.
Yeah, correct.
Got to market in 2020. What was the first place you went to market?
One of our first stores was Enlight, I believe, out in Northampton, which is probably a mile down the street from us.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so 4 friends got together and basically wanted to create a product that you could have consistency throughout the market, whether you were buying it in Williamstown, in the corner of the state, P-Town, North Shore, Boston. They wanted something that had consistency. Unique terp profiles, it tasted the same. They didn't burn. They didn't go flavorless at the end. There wasn't oxidation because of the quality of the oil that was being used, and the hardware was pretty revolutionary at the time, and we still have some of the most premium options as far as the copper tip and the glass that we use.
All right, you're like, this guy's like right. This guy just
let me give you a little background about the dudes though. Like shout out to
exactly.
Kid.
Yeah, we can get there. Yeah, I want to get this. We'll get to the sales part of it. We'll get to that.
Yeah, he giving y'all. He's giving y'all the pitch.
Yeah, he's like right on. Like, bro, we already bought the stuff. It's already here. You're already here. You're in the building. Okay, we got you. We got a whole bunch of. We're gonna go after about 15 minutes. We're gonna go through all this stuff, and I think that's gonna be your time to shine right there.
Super interesting story.
Well, that's a good thing though. He's a salesman like that. You know.
Yeah, he's gonna keep his job. We're gonna promote him. But yeah, the story is interesting though because it is 4 friends. They all grew up together.
And where did these guys come from?
They came from Connecticut.
Okay,
right. They came
is that where you guys are originally based out of?
No, we're based out of Northampton. So they all
went to school.
They all went to school in 4th grade in Connecticut, and then they all went their separate ways. One guy is a lawyer by trade, but also was a school teacher. The other guy was in Atlanta throwing some of the dopest parties in Atlanta. His name is Kevin. The other guy was I think it was a hedge fund guy. David worked on Wall Street, and then the other guy was in like social media, digital advertising. So these 4 guys kind of went their own separate ways. One day they got together, were smoking some fire weed, and was like, you know what, we should quit our jobs and build a company. And they literally quit. Decided to get a license in Massachusetts. They all moved to Massachusetts, Northampton. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Why Massachusetts?
Massachusetts was just becoming recreationally legal or adult use, and so they felt like it was the best opportunity for them on the East Coast. So, for the most part, we was on the West Coast, right?
I was gonna say, yeah,
right. And then it started to come east, right? And so Massachusetts was one of the first markets to go adult use, and it was probably the best place for them to start. It was wide open territory, so they decided on Massachusetts. Got a good lease on a piece of property, and they really saturated the market really, really good from a branding perspective. Because, like you said, We started in 2018, but the product didn't come to market to 2020. So we had 2 years really just seed the market, throw parties, give away a bunch of swag. So by the time we came to the market, we had it on lock.
You guys were already like well known around.
Yeah, all really well.
And at that point, it was really just the 4 owners going out. They were doing all the sales, the branding. What was one of my favorite stories, they lived in a house together at first when they were starting it up. They had a room dedicated to trying out all the vapes. Typically, you might go through, a dozen samples, something like that. Our first 6 that we launched with came from over 900 individual samples that they went through, where they would just go in every day, try them out, make sure they're hitting the first hit is the same as the last hit. It's not going out of flavor. Incredible to think about the smell that room probably had after 1,000 vapes.
I was watching Joe Rogan podcast. They were talking about vapes and how just craziness about vapes, but they were showing these like it was like over in China, the vape factories, and it's like 8-year-old kids with like these, like the vape trays that come with like hundreds of vapes, like just going boom, 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 boom down the whole. I mean, they're like little kids.
Yeah, you get a job at 5 over
It was
there.
wild, wild. And the dude, what he said was, Duncan Trussell was on. He goes, "Imagine what that room smells like." It's exactly what he said.
Yep, probably smells a lot like the room in that house that they started Fernway in. So
yeah, you got to be serious about some stuff if you have a whole room dedicated to vape.
I mean, they did 2 years. I mean, probably more than that of R&D, but really, I mean, that's really why I think Fernway is so successful is because of the time they use to R&D the products, and it's so consistent. That's the one thing you'll hear about all of our products is they're consistent. Consistent. If it's mango here, it's mango the same in New Jersey. It's the same in New York. So, and that's really how I think cannabis becomes more mainstream. When you can make it consistent. Other than flour is always going to be a little different, but the vapes and the gummies and things like that, they have to be consistent.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so like basically the McDonald's mold. Like that's what McDonald's did, basically, the whole thing. You get a McDonald's, you get it here or you get it Russia, you get it China, it's the same burger no matter where.
Exactly.
But I was going to say you can't really do that with flour, or do you guys have some kind of like, how do you make it so you can keep that kind of like consistency and quality up across the board?
The terpene profiles that they lock down from the beginning are from California sources for our cannabis terps. And then we also have different companies work for the botanical side, but it's really the individual formulations is what they locked in. So like Aaron was saying, if you try a mango when we first launched it versus a mango you bought today, they're going to taste the exact same. Where a lot of other companies don't have those relationships as strong, so they might be blending through different profiles or not sticking to the same formulation. A good example was a year after launching our Red-Headed Stranger, which is won us the High Times Cup Award at one point. We've got it in all of our different formats.
For
it's a vape, one of our vape flavors. So that's a Red-Headed Stranger cannabis terp from Cali. Yep. The farmer had an issue with one of the crops, so we didn't have that for a few months. We could have gone to a different terp blend that tasted the same or gave similar effects, but we wanted to stay true to the name, and that's something that we've always done with Fernway.
So would you guys just wait for the crop to recycle back around?
Yep.
That's pretty stand up. I mean, that's kind of what you would want to be. That's what you're saying about the flavor always being the same. Because what's kind of crazy, I'm not a huge vape guy, but I have gotten, I dabble here and there, but the quality of vapes has like gone through the roof of like when I've always been a flower guy. I'm 43. I don't know how old you guys are here. I'm older, but vapes weren't huge when we were younger, obviously. So as you get older, like, the vapes, they come into play, but now they actually taste like onion rings and like steak and cheese subs and like it's like wild. Like you're like, how the fuck is there weed in this thing? Like, so it's, I haven't had the chance to try your vapes yet. We're going to obviously try them, but
Mason could probably explain the whole distillate process to you and why you're able to do that.
Yeah, and I think our big thing is, we're not a flower company, right? So like the big thing is we don't grow the flower, we procure the flower. And so that allows us to always guarantee that quality, make sure it is premium, make sure it fits with our brand. Where we really add the value is that manufacturing step, right? So having a premium quality pre-roll experience with a ceramic tip, making sure it doesn't canoe, or making sure you have that extra flavor. So we don't really focus on the grow aspect. We make sure we source flower that is premium and matches our brand, but we really focus on what do we add to the flower to make that elevated experience premium, right? Because flower, I'm the same thing, right? I'll go through a quarter a day, fly through flower, but how do you make flower more enjoyable, right? Elevating the taste, making it more flavorful, and that's where we really focus is, that's white truffle, but we put white truffle with blueberry terps, right? So you get a blueberry truffle, you get something more experiential opposed to just that regular flower experience. So we really want to drive that premium experience through adding that little extra manufacturing step.
Okay. And how did you get involved with Fernway?
Speaking to the mic too, by the way.
Yeah. I was gonna, But we actually do have, you know what? Listen to the man.
I'll listen to him. Yeah, so I joined Fernway honestly in December. Prior to this, I was with 2 other cannabis companies, Curaleaf in 1906.
Okay.
And so for me, I've always really enjoyed the brand side. So I'm a big consumer.
When you talk to, you can talk into the camera. Yeah, we're having a conversation, me and you.
Yeah.
But we're on a show.
Come on, Madison.
I got you.
How many of those bong hits did you take before you got in there?
No, I got you. Yeah. So
Come on, Morgan.
Yeah, you're talking. We're talking to all of us.
I started at Fernway in December. I've been talking to the founders, knew them for a little bit, a couple years. Especially they joined into New Jersey, so I was actually in the New Jersey market prior to Fernway launching in Jersey earlier in 2023. And so I really just came in to really elevate that experience, really bring in again how the brand interacts with you. So
Chris, let me stop him. So, how he got to Fernway? Let's tell the whole story.
He's not a salesman.
No, he's not a salesman.
This is you guys. So I want everyone to know too. This is Mason, not Morgan. They're giving him shit. I'm gonna stick out the other man. And what's happening right now too is you guys got like a grower or a distillate guy right now on camera.
Right.
We got 2 sales guys on camera with the sales guy, and then we got like a grower and someone who's more like behind the scenes because they forced them on here. And now they're giving him shit. Now, give him all the shit you want to give him now.
So I met Mason.
I just had to explain myself here.
I met Mason when he was like 20 years old. Were you even legal? I know you were turning.
How old are you now?
24.
Okay.
So we've been knowing each other a
Christ.
while. I met him in Michigan. Super smart kid. He was working for Curaleaf at the time, and we didn't know it. But the night we all hung out, it was his birthday, and so we took Mason out for his 22nd birthday in Detroit. And we took him to a couple strip clubs, and we just had this crazy night.
He's giving you the eye right now. I'm like, you better not.
I won't tell you everything else that's happened. But
I can see him looking at you like, motherfucker, if you say that shit, I'm going to.
But after that, we became really, really good friends.
Well, you do after something like that.
Yeah, we became amazing friends, and we just kept in touch. I joined Fernway. At the time, I was working with another brand. I joined Fernway. Tried to recruit him. He was working with someone else. Finally, we did recruit him, and I would say Madison is probably one of the dopest in the game.
Why? Yeah. Why did you guys try to recruit him so hard? What does he bring to the Fernway? We're almost at 15 minutes now. We got about 3 more minutes left. We could bring this out, but
so Morgan is a strategist.
Okay, he's gonna keep going with it. He's not gonna give it up
at this point. Morgan, it is. You know what I'm saying?
He's a strategist. I mean, first of all, he's a believer in the product.
Okay,
and so when I think about just Fernway overall, everyone in our space believe in the product and use the product on a daily basis. And so Mason really dives into what our brand is doing, what other brands are doing, how they're doing it, how they make it, right? So there is rare. And so for somebody at his age to have the experience of understanding the strategies of our brand and other brands and how they interact with one another, we just really needed him on our side. And he's been with us for a couple of months, and we can see the difference in just him and how he operates and how we're priced in the market. So kudos. I just want to give him his flowers because he definitely is a good dude.
What about you, though? How did you get involved with Fernway? Like, what made you want to come to the company?
All right, so my story, I'm not going to give you my whole story.
Why
but
not?
It started with me getting out of federal prison, right? So my
whoa. Hold on.
I told you I was going to give you a little something you didn't expect.
No. Well, you're sitting on a couch. I mean, everyone here started as drug dealers, so I mean, it's like we're all in the same boat here. I mean, I didn't go to federal prison, but we all have our brushes. Fucking, but so that's interesting though, because this is where stuff gets interesting with cannabis. So one of the reasons we have this show, we're gonna get to like lifestyle soon. We're just gonna work through your product and stuff. But before you tell your prison or if you do or not, I want to explain to you what we do here. What we're trying to do here is, so cannabis, the culture of cannabis is new. All right, so people think that cannabis users are lazy. People think that they're criminals. People think that they don't have any ambition, goals, whatnot. Okay. I can only imagine the shit that you get into in your life, that the goals and ambition that you have. You just rolled your eyes because it's so ridiculous. Everyone that sits on this couch across from me they own multiple companies, have multiple patents. Some of them have won gold medals. They've traveled across the world, like world records, like all types of shit that you'd be like, okay, all right, platinum selling recording artists, all types of shit that you wouldn't expect. So to hear that doesn't surprise me at all, because a lot of the people in the space have been to prison. More often than not, whoever's sitting on that couch has been to prison. So I mean, that's not something to one be ashamed of, or two to like. What matters is that you came out of federal prison and then look at the situation you're in now. So what we want to do is we want to inspire the people that are in the same space that have been to prison and think they can't make something of themselves. Look at someone like yourself coming in with a team of people, like, and going like, "Fuck, this guy did something with himself." Like, you know.
Nah, I really believe in that too, Chris.
And you live a dream. You live a dream job right now.
Selling weed.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, you don't have to go into like, you know, whatever part of your story you want to, but around here we're not ashamed of that kind of thing. Around here we wear that shit like a badge because you're not still in prison. You're out of prison and now you're helping run companies.
Yeah, and I think where I was going to go with that was how did I get into this space
please tell us.
When I came back, because my background is in IT. So when I came home, cannabis was just becoming legal. In 2013, they were about to make it legal in Colorado. 2014, a friend was like, "Hey man, we should get in the weed business." He was like, "Let's sell some packaging." I was like, "Man, you know how many packaging we got to sell to make some money?" But I was like, "What if we put the Marley's name on it? Then let's go into weed." So I was like, all right, cool. So I went searching around trying to connect with some Marleys. I got to Rohan Marley. He was like, "Yeah, give me $25 million. You can have our name." I'm like, "Yo, didn't Marley have like 11 other kids?" So I just started going down all the kids till I got to Julian Marley. And Julian Marley was like, "Give me $250,000. I was like, all right, bet. And that's how I got into the cannabis business. My first brand was called Julian Jujurel Marley brand. And I exited that probably 2 years later.
So hold on. All right. Like, just still, I just don't want to walk past that whole part of this because that's like a huge thing. So you're getting out of prison. There's really like, what the fuck am I going to do? Not only you're a felon, and you can't. There's a lot of jobs you can't get.
Cannot get.
So you have to figure something. You have to hustle something. Now you immediately just think cannabis. That's where your brain went. Cannabis.
Yeah, I mean, because my background was in IT and staffing. I couldn't get a job in any of those fields.
Oh, that's why you're saying that. But what's actually the thing that's crazy about it now? I bet you in cannabis having an IT background is probably beneficial now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you know how all this shit works.
No, literally everything I did prior to cannabis has come full circle. Running sales teams, staffing, the whole thing really has worked. So, I mean, this is a real business. This is like any other business. This is like running IBM.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So to your point, when I say, you know, guys who come out of any type of situation, cannabis is a viable space for you to be in, right? They told me I couldn't be in it, and they were like, "Well, you can't touch the plant." I said, "Cool, I don't touch the plant. I make packaging. And I sell it to somebody. They put something in it, and I'm still on that side of the business where I don't touch the product, but I do the branding and I do the sales. So I don't necessarily have to have a license to do that. So there's a ton of ways you can be in cannabis.
That's exactly it. Because another thing is here, we don't touch cannabis here,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But we're still in the cannabis market, but we don't touch cannabis.
Yep. Yeah.
We sell a product, but it's not cannabis. So there are a lot of ways, and I do like to always make it a point to like focus on that when it comes up, because there's a lot of people in the space that have felonies from cannabis.
Correct.
That can't be in cannabis. Well, it's changing a little bit now, but like for a long time, man, it was I'm a felon, so I couldn't get a job even at the dispensary. You know what I'm saying? I could not be a bud tender. I might be able to be one now. I don't know, but when cannabis first 10 years ago, when it was first legalized, it was not. I wasn't even they wouldn't even look at me like so. And my felonies are from cannabis. You know what I'm saying? So big amounts.
And I think those are the people who should get the job.
Exactly.
Those are the people who should get the job.
Exactly, because they know about it. Why Fernway though? Why that company?
So I spent the last 3.5 years building a brand called Viola through a guy named Al Harrington. NBA basketball player.
I was going to say not the basketball player. But
yep,
okay.
I spent 3 years working with him.
Atlanta Hawks?
Yep.
Yeah.
He played for New York too.
Okay, yeah.
And so I spent 3 years with him. We launched the Allen Iverson brand in California and Michigan.
All these NBA guys got weed brands. Yep. All the NBA, Gary, all got weed brands now.
Gary Payton, Kevin Garnett is involved.
All of them. Yeah, I was just talking to the guy that does Kevin Garnett's brand the other day.
So I did that for 3.5 years. We did a deal with a company called GTI. So now GTI kind of runs the brand. So I was kind of like, all right, what do I do next? Took some time off. Somebody called me from Fernway, and I looked at the brand. It was really clean, and so I was like, "Yo, I'll take a look at it." They were expanding to the East Coast, and I was like, "Yo, I've never sold on the East Coast before, so it was really intriguing." And the kid and the guys, I'm gonna bring this full circle for you too. So, kid and the guys, they interviewed me, they wanted me, and so I hadn't told them about the felony yet. So, at the end, they were like, "Hey, Aaron, what are you thinking?" I said, "Let me just tell you, I got a felony," and so I thought they were gonna put the pause on it. And Kit called the attorney. He was like, Aaron, don't worry about it. We're going to get you in. Because I don't touch the plant, right? Even right now, I don't really touch the plant. And so Kit called me back. He was like, I don't care what they say. We're hiring you. And at that point, I was like, I don't care. I'm going to ride with these dudes.
Yeah,
because they didn't hold that against me. And so right now, I mean, I fly all over the place, drive all over the place for these guys because he's still tall, right? He could have just said, you know what, we don't really want to touch that, and he didn't. And so that's why I really mess with Fernway.
That's cool because loyalty is dope, and it's not always a big thing anymore, like especially these days. But that's another cool thing about the cannabis industry is that a lot of people will take chances on guys like you or me, like because. And like you don't have to have like the school background, you don't have to have like the corporate background. They can just kind of because we kind of know, like you know what I mean. If you're kind of in weed, you're kind of into cannabis. You know, you kind of get who is a salesman,
and you kind of got to, you know, if you ever sell weed, you kind of got to be a chameleon anyway, right? Because your customers are all so different.
If you're selling weed, you're running a business.
You're running a real
You have
business.
overhead, you have hours, you have it's all. If sometimes you have employees, like it's the whole nine, the same exact thing. What got you into Fernway?
My journey in cannabis in Massachusetts started with the launch of the Levia cannabis seltzers. So during COVID, I previously was in liquor sales, and
That's why I see those at Bedlam's.
started looking around, and all of a sudden, found myself talking to one of the guys up at Levia that was just getting off the ground. They didn't need sales yet, but down the line we were going to have a conversation. Because of the 2-driver rule for Massachusetts, they lost one of their drivers 2 weeks after launching.
What's 2-driver rule?
So in cannabis, you have to have 2 drivers in the truck at all times.
You good?
In order to deliver any type of cannabis product, you can't just have one person driving the truck to do deliveries.
Okay.
So I get a call from them saying, hey, could you fill in to drive a truck or to be in the truck as the second person until we get sales? They thought it was going to take 6-7 months to get off the ground. Within 4 or 5 months, we had sold 1 million cans. So
shit.
I drove that truck for...
And were they coming like 6 and 12 packs?
Singles.
Oh, shit.
So a lot of them.
How the fuck? Yeah. How long did it take to do that?
So it was total. It was about 5-6 months that we sold 1 million.
Damn, what's that like? What's a couple thousand a day?
We were delivering to
Like 10,000,
over 150 stores. We would have a 30-foot box truck that filled with pallets going out 5 days a week.
Jesus Christ.
So-
that's cool shit, man.
Built that into, it was a very easy switch to beverage. And then after Levia was bought by one of the larger companies, ended up just looking to work for something small again, looking for something local where I could actually know and have a conversation and relationship with the owners directly, which you can't really have in a large MSO corporation. It's a multi-state operator, so the national brands that are in 50 different states. But I ended up meeting Kit, Liam, Kevin, David early on at events because Levia and Fernway actually started around the same time as these new Massachusetts brands that were coming on the market. So ended up reaching out to them and landing the position.
All right. Is Fernway thinking about doing drinks? Do you guys do drinks already?
Nope.
All the success you've had in drinks, you haven't been able to sell your drink to them?
I mean,
or?
I've always been a pothead. I've always been a big smoker. Even when I was selling the drinks, I was ripping vapes half the time. And Fernway caught my eye. They had a early contender up in North Shore, Fine Fettle. They're in Rowley. They're also down in Connecticut and a couple other places. But went down the street from them, picked up a Fernway cart, and it was the first time I saw something in Massachusetts that had quality branding, that hit good, hit clean. It was their grapefruit flavor that just tasted like an actual citrus.
So you were a customer first?
Yeah, had the whole terp profile, had followed the brand just sort of side by side for years. So it was a perfect fit when I was looking.
All right, so Fernway starts with 4 guys, 4 friends. You guys are obviously this 4-man team here. That's 8 guys. How big is your guys' operation at this point in time?
We're probably 100+ employees.
Oh,
right
shit,
now.
huh? That's impressive.
I think I was employee number 59 or something.
How long ago was that?
May.
Wow.
And that was before we opened New Jersey, and now New York.
So it's kind of like the telescopic thing, how like once, it gets shorter and shorter as the further you go out, it gets bigger and bigger faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. As it's been enough time now. I don't know if you guys have any cannabis you want to light up. You guys are welcome to light that up now.
You speak in Morgan's language.
Yeah,
right
because I
there.
figure I'll smoke some of your cannabis to someone else's. But I don't know if you want to go through here, Sean. You want to put this on the thing for them right here, and you want to walk through some of this. I can even put this like that way for you a little bit. You can walk through this, kind of tell everyone what they are.
Yeah, so
Well, no, if you want to keep it here, look it. See what I'm saying? If you want to just point. You can,
I can point on it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. So the Mandarin Orange, that's in our traveler format, which we consider the all-in-one. So it's a vape that already has the battery included in the hardware. What's nice about that is a customer can buy it and literally, oh, there we go, and they can go right out the door and consume. This is actually one of our travelers that has the live resin in it. What most people call these is a disposable. Now that's not true for any Fernway product. What we did is we put our money where our mouth was last summer, and we put out our recycling program. It started with our travelers, and then we moved into our 510s as well. What that means is you can go to any store that's participating with that, with an empty cart, an empty cartridge, a battery, anything made by
Rip on
Fernway,
that thing. Rip on it.
and you can throw it right in the recycling bin. What I'm smoking right now is our live resin, which is a true live resin. It's got live res oil, live res terps. He just got to hit one of our newest products. This isn't even on the market
Tasty.
yet.
What do you think about that?
That's really
What
good.
are your first thoughts?
It's like it's really mango-y, like really it tastes like a mango.
There it is.
A lot of the terps don't always work. You know what I'm saying?
No.
The terps don't. Sometimes it tastes like you're smoking chemicals. You know what I mean? That doesn't. That tastes like I like to smoke really good quality.
That's
cannabis.
what we're known for, though, is the terps.
That right there, that tastes really good. It's a mango.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, Chris, no one does
This is
a terpene infused joint like we do.
Is this little thing you have? There's no label on this thing.
So that came out of the box, Mason.
Oh, right here, this mango box. Let me just. I'm gonna put this right here. I don't know if you can see.
No,
that
you talking
right
about
The joints?
The joint?
Yeah, the
Chris?
joints come in these guys.
So this joint actually that you just smoked, this mango one, this is a brand new.
You R&D in that, Chris. It's not on the market yet.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
So yeah, our typical joint looks like this. It's got a terpene infused joint, but this one has THCA crystals on the inside and keef and distillate on the outside. So we're coming into the concentrate infused joint market with the flavor that I was talking about earlier in the terpenes and everything. So we want to still make sure that people like you and I that smoke a lot can get that extra high that we want, but still get that flavorful experience and making sure it's quality and doesn't have that burnout by, halfway through it tastes bad or stuff like that.
That's one of the worst parts of it when you get, sometimes when the weed's really, really good, it does, like it just halfway through it, you can just, that shit that comes back on the back end, you have to almost wipe it off. But that right there, that's good. You also have that, I did try one of your. This reminded me. One of the events I met you at. You guys had this. You had the tip, and I forgot all about that. So right now you said the ceramic tips. Now tell me a little bit about this. Why the ceramic tip?
So the ceramic tip is reusable afterwards. You can use it just like you would a tip when you're rolling your own joints. Clean it off, rub it in ISO. So it's going to be more environmentally friendly than something that's going to go in the trash. The other part about that, you'll notice that there's the flavor band. So just like our vapes, you'll always know what you're smoking because we have that color coded band that also says the terpene profile on there. So even if you smoke half that joint, put it back in your ashtray, you don't have the packaging anywhere, you know what you have in front of you.
This guy deals with some smokers, huh?
He know what he's doing.
That's what.
And
that's what it is right there. This guy's like, that's some smoker shit right there because I do that. I forget all the time. Then you hit it, you're like, I don't know which one is that? Fuck, and you just end up smoking it all anyways. That's smart. I like
Another reason why Fernway is #1.
Yeah, and with these two, like you were talking about with some of the resin drip that you normally get, we have 5 pinholes on the inside of this ceramic tip, so you're getting a great airflow on there, and you're not going to have as much of that resin dripping through because of that break.
There you go. Is that all like trademarked and copyrighted and everything?
Bro, I'm learning too right now, Chris.
It's got to be that. They have to be like actual like that trademark technology in that. I would assume so.
So everything that we make is proprietary in the market. You're not going to see anyone else doing it because we're the first and we're the best at doing it. So,
but because it's cannabis, you can't trademark anything cannabis related.
But
the process, yeah, he can.
And also that tip.
The tip.
You can. That's proprietary, right? That tip right there. I would assume. I mean, I've never seen anything. Is it not? I wouldn't know. I'm asking you. I don't know. I've smoked a lot of cannabis with a lot of tips.
So there's a lot of glass tips out there.
Glass tips.
So there's glass tips, there's wood tips, there's different styles of crutches that manufacturers will use. We decided to go with the ceramic tip because it's going to be a more environmentally friendly. It's also going to be less likely to chip or break, unlike a glass tube might be. And then having those 5 air holes really gives a better draw than having just a straight tube, which is what happens with a lot of.
Fire that one up so he can see the difference.
So one of the nice parts about these, they come with the terp saver on top. So that's a little cork that comes when you take it out of the package, that's going to seal in all those terpenes.
Okay.
So you're not going to have any loss between that and that cap and the seal on the top of the glass jar.
Okay. So you guys really are going for that high end.
High-end premium.
Yeah. Which is, which I think is the next step in this. I think, honestly, the next step in this whole, and I could be wrong, but we've seen this explosion happen, and I think, like, the $100 ounces are going to be going out the window for the most part, and people will start. Because you wouldn't smoke a $100 ounce. I wouldn't smoke that.
We were talking about I'm from Detroit still, and we live there, and the ounces there, you got $20 ounces every single store, bottom shelf $20. But it's nothing that you and I would ever even look at, right? And so I think that's the biggest difference is
blueberry.
You pay for the quality you get, and so we always want to be that premium brand, so you can guarantee that premium flavor, that premium quality, and so that's really what we're going for.
You can tell with it right there too. That blueberry. It's not mango-y like the mango is either. It's like a different it's
got that cake on the background.
Mm-hmm. It does. It's not like the mango is like more like citrusy. Like if that makes any kind of like a snap. There's like a snap to it, juice to it. Yeah. That doesn't have that. That has like more of like a soft, subtle like.
It tastes like the actual fruit. That's one of the big things.
That's
using a quality like botanical terpene versus a lab-based terpene.
I love shit like that because when I'm talking to people about cannabis, right? People don't understand that like I said, some of it tastes like fucking like chow mein. Some of it tastes like barbecue sauce. Actual barbecue but people don't know that. And like when you get to something like this, really tastes like blueberries. Not like it. Okay, it's like, and I'm willing to bet that if someone was to walk in the room, it smells like blueberries.
It smells like blueberries.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And what's nice is you have the consistency across the brand too. So with the blueberry cake, you can get it in the joints, you can get it in the vapes, you can get it in all the formats.
Yeah, tell me what some of these other things are.
So the other packaging that you see is our 510s. So I'll actually just open up that blueberry since I got it right here. You got the pen mason. So one of the things I loved about the packaging, like I was telling you, I was a fan before I joined the company. We have the full terpene breakdown.
Oh.
So what that gives is the bud tender a tool to actually look at the full terp breakdown on the back of that card and try to recommend the proper flower when a customer comes in and they're asking questions. I really liked this strain.
I tried.
What's the terpene profile on that? I'm always going to say terps over tack because if you're looking into the market to look for the highest percentage, you're not going to get the highest quality.
I think too, people don't. Can you explain to people that might not know what terpenes are and why they're important?
So everything has terpenes that is a plant or growing, and they exist for a lot of reasons, not just for flavor, but for smell and effect. One of the easiest ways I describe to people is lavender. People use it as a aromatherapy to relax. They put it in their bedrooms. They use it for calming. It's known for that. Lavender has a terpene in it called lunalol. That is also active in a lot of the more indica style strains that people associate with a relaxing, calming effect. What you see is those two terpenes having that same effect, whether it's the plant or the cannabis. Same thing with a lot of the citrus, which contains limonene, which is going to be an uplifting, the same way an orange zest or a lemon zest would sort of bring a little pep to your step. It's going to have the same thing if you're having a sativa flower that has that high concentration.
Chris, do you see why I brought him?
Yeah.
I'll speak a little Terpenese.
I get it. He's like, I'm gonna get everyone to chill, and then like tell them what it is. I know what the 1-2 punch is.
I've been a weed nerd since I was a kid.
It's okay. You got the straight guy, you got the funny man. That's how you roll. It's a 1-2 punch. That's how you got to do it, man. So I'm like a half weed nerd and half not. Like I'm probably right in the middle of you guys. So bless you. The thing about terpenes that I like to not press on people, but explain to people, is that a lot of people think that just because something's a sativa or something's an indica, it's going to make you either up or down.
That's a lie.
There you go. Okay, right away. Yep. So like I that's not even close. It more has to do with the terps, if anything.
The
like
terps, all about the terps.
So
go ahead,
you're the terp guy. Explain to me like I'm 5.
Yep.
Why sativa and indica don't matter as much as people think they do.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to research. Honestly, in the last couple of years, is we didn't really understand what terpenes were as a whole. What cannabis was, we didn't realize it was in all these plants and all these foods. And so finding that connection is, I think, important. So with terpenes, I always say the biggest thing is you can tell what markets and where in the U.S. like to smoke based on what they eat. So in New York, you have runts. You have something harder because they are used to those thicker dishes, right? Where you move over to the West Coast or Florida, they like citrus because they're used to fruity things. So terpenes, like you said, are everywhere. So the things that you like to smell and smoke is exactly what you like to smell and smoke in your everyday. So in Jersey, for example, there's a lot of lavender fields. Lavender is one of our best-selling SKUs in Jersey because of that.
I was just going to ask. So I found out the other day that 99% of the blueberries in the world are made in Maine.
Yep.
Did you know? I didn't know that. So does this sell as good like in California as it does in Maine?
So we wouldn't know because we're not in
Oh, yeah,
California. But
said
it is a good strain in California.
And it's something we found even just in...
Or just out of this region, even when you get to like Jersey and
for
stuff.
sure.
So even like you just said, even Mass and Jersey is different for us. So we have found different strains do different things. Where like lavender is really popular, like strawberry picking season or cranberry jam, right? So like
Well, this obviously would do well around here, I would imagine, because people like,
one of the best.
Correct.
Because I was trying to think even the other day if like blueberry pancakes were even like a big thing like out west, because how do they get blueberries? You know what I mean? Like the same thing. But anyways, I'm high. You guys got me high. You know what I mean?
This is what it's for.
Cranberry jam. Do we have some cranberry jam around here? Like
It's in there. Open it up. Bust it open.
Well, you guys got so much stuff up here. I'm gonna have to like before you guys leave. I have to take like some kind of like what, I can't even think of the damn word right now.
We're leaving this all for you. So you.
No, I know that, but I need to understand like what it all is before you guys go,
No
because I want to write about it all and like you know.
And so one of the things that they didn't go through is, and I'll let Mason open this before you do that one. We also launched 1 gram pre-roll with the same tip. So that the half gram you just smoked, we came out with a 1 gram tip as well for you, the bigger boy.
Okay, so all right, so this is. So that's okay, the Royale. And this is the Terp Saver. I like this. This is crazy. All right.
On the full gram size, much larger airflow, so that thing's going to absolutely tear
That's
through.
the Gelato Punch. It's a recent strain we just did, a collaboration. Gone really well for us, but that Gelato Punch is hitting really nicely.
It's the tip, though, baby. It's the tip.
Tip is. The tip, honestly, and I'm not saying it because you're sitting here, it's like, it makes it feel classy. And like nothing, I don't always need my joints to feel classy, but there were some times where like I wouldn't mind if they did. You know what I'm saying?
If you was out at a club, you was doing something real cool.
It ain't,
you wanted to like flex on somebody.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
You could actually buy. We sell the tip, and you can put your own weed in it.
Yeah, it's just a cone that you can pack.
You can buy that
yourself.
cone from us also.
No, that's a smart idea. As far as like branding and stuff like that goes, I would assume you guys must like want your name on.
Yeah, we want our name on everything.
On everything. What's been your guys' biggest seller?
Blueberry Haze. That one.
Berry haze.
Berry Haze, I'm sorry.
What's your favorite?
Honestly, it's probably Berry Haze or that wild blueberry that we just smoked. I would say between those two, I really like, I'm someone who, we talked about this, but I dab a lot, right? So I'm very much that flavor forward. I don't want, I like dabs leaving a little bit more than flower because I get that flavor and that fresh press, those different things. And so with this, I'm not someone who's ever like, you wanted that fake terpenes, wanted that fake flower. I want to smoke weed if I'm smoking weed, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so for me, those two flavors allow me to still feel that berry haze, I feel that little, I don't even know how to describe it, but you hit that haze or you're just in that like funk, but you feel good, right? So I'm just low key, I'm relaxed. And I feel like, with those products, you still aren't getting that, I'm, eating a grape, but I still feel like I'm smoking weed through a vape. Because just like you, I'm not a big vapor, right? So at the end of the day, that isn't my thing. But if I was to vape, Fernway is that product that I go to. Yeah,
but this right here, I'm not a huge vapor, but this isn't too crazy bulky, and it's slim and stuff like that. And it's like a little cart. Like I could fuck with something like that.
It makes you feel good. That's what we want to do with the brand.
Yeah.
Where's the Traveler's a super popular device, that one right there. I don't know if you hit on that
Actually, this Mandarin Orange, this right here is a brunch favorite. Like,
okay.
Oh my God.
Is this one of these?
Well, that's
our resin.
Our resin right there. He's
Okay.
gonna open
That's a
that one
live
up for you.
resin.
And I just wanted to add before this happened that I don't really dab that much, but I will dab with you before you go because I know whatever the fuck you're dabbing is some good shit.
But guess what, Chris? He dabs 2 grams a day.
I'm a gram and a half to 2 grams of rosin.
Yeah, I can only imagine. That doesn't.
I got some goodies for you.
On a good day, I can do. I'm like 20, 25 joints on a good.
I can see that.
It depends how much I'm moving. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
what's really going on and shit. Which one of these should I go for first? The Mandarin Orange?
Go for the Mandarin Orange. Yeah, it's button activated.
Okay. Yeah, that actually is Mandarin Orange. And I know it's like it sounds silly just saying it like that, but that it is just
a lot of brands though.
It's
Chris,
very simple.
A lot of brands will have flavor type of
it doesn't.
brands, but they don't hit.
I think you can.
And they don't hit out.
the
They don't hit
flavor,
consistently.
too,
Yeah.
right?
This doesn't taste like candy mandarin orange. It doesn't taste like a synthetic mandarin orange. It tastes like an actual like mandarin orange.
Yep.
My girl loves mandarin oranges. She's gonna love this shit.
Boom. She gonna love that. She gonna love Berry Haze too. I'm telling you.
No, that right there though, like that's my house smells like this half the time because like when you open one of those things, your whole kitchen will smell like that. That's really all these are really really good. These are there's no, and I'm not saying that because you're here because I'm someone who like I'm just honest about the shit, and I'm a weed snob, and I'm not huge on vapes. These all taste really really
Check
good.
out the packaging though, Chris, real quick. The one thing I
this
like
is,
about
this is where you come in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, really,
I'm just fucking with you.
Higgins over there. But when I think about the packaging, I just think about like opening up an iPhone box or whatever, and everything was thought through thoroughly. So how do I use the vape? The very first thing you see when you pull that cap off of the vape is it tells you how to turn it on. Like press the button, and you get all these instructions. Especially when you think about in the market right now, the age that's consuming these products are 35 plus.
I was gonna say, who is the market for like vapes? Because
just weed overall.
I'm saying weed, but even like someone's ringing. The user of like cannabis is exactly what I'm saying. Like the people that will buy like the
35 plus.
Yeah, the higher end, higher grade. I'm looking at
probably 40 plus.
I'm looking at the
like
packaging
this.
of this. I'm saying like this is something that like you would a fly by night person isn't gonna. This is like a treat, a treat. You know what I'm saying? But a quality smoker. Yeah,
Somebody's driving a BMW is buying our products.
Oh yeah, without question.
On a regular basis.
Without question, they're quality products. What's your favorite one?
Berry Haze. Berry Haze. We brought Berry Haze.
I was like, Bear Haze? What the fuck you got here?
Berry Haze.
Are you from Dorchester?
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin, actually.
Wisconsin.
And I live in Atlanta. So
you don't live in a mansion in Wisconsin?
Yeah, a mansion in Wisconsin. Yeah,
that's T-Pain shit. So how did you start smoking cannabis?
I think I was probably in the 8th or 9th grade.
What's the first time you smoked cannabis?
Probably 8th or 9th grade. 8th grade, one of my friends stole his brother. His brother was sold weed. And so he stole some weed and brought it into the room. Right now, they had seeds all in the weed. So you had to like take the notebook and get all the seeds out.
Yeah.
And then we rolled a joint.
He doesn't know about that.
I was in the 8th grade. Yeah, he too young to know about that. And so I smoked some weed for the first time. And after that, we started selling little dime bags in middle school. So
that was in Wisconsin?
In Wisconsin.
What kind of cannabis were they getting in Wisconsin?
Trash. I mean, we had seeds in it. We had to get all the seeds out of it. It was horrible.
I'm surprised it made it up that far.
Well, we thought it was great weed, right? Brown weed. Like looking at the weed I see right now, I'm like, wow, we didn't know what we was getting.
Science.
It's science.
Science is what it is. It's crazy. Because back then, I mean, how old are you?
I'm 33.
33. How old are you?
I'm 50.
All right, so I'm 43. Yeah. So I like you live, but I grew up young. I mean, early too. But brickweed.
Brickweed. That's
Nothing but brickweed. Do you remember?
I got brickweed in West Virginia when I first went down there.
Okay,
I was spoiled because I grew up in Vermont. So everyone.
Oh yeah, you never even had brickweed.
No. The first time I had it was West Virginia. I had no idea what the fuck it was.
You grew up like remember Kind Bud came out.
Oh, we had everything from Canada. The
BC
parents,
Bud.
The parents' weed always had the best weed. The
so
shaken away, that was always the best.
Where'd you get your first bud from? Whose parents you steal it from?
We didn't steal it. We got some pretty shitty weed, no idea what it was, but some of the favorite strains I remember coming through were like the Northern Lights, the Strawberry
When
Cough,
you first started, you had that?
Yeah.
Bro, when I started smoking weed, I didn't even know we didn't even have no strain names.
There was nothing. When we
it was
first
just in a
started
plastic bag.
Yeah, it was a plastic bag. You would be lucky if you got like a brown paper bag.
Brown paper bag.
Yeah, with
Yep.
just like something like the size of this, but this would be a pound of weed.
I think that's a regional thing because I still can't tell you what I sold growing up.
No,
I'm from Ohio, and I can tell you we have some brickweed there too.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I've never had it,
but it didn't have no. It didn't have a strain name.
Yeah,
I would say I'd never had that.
No, see, when we first started buying weed, just like, do you have weed?
Yep.
It wasn't. You didn't ask for like you never. What kind of weed do you have? Wasn't a question until like maybe 3 years ago,
right.
5 years ago tops. Like you know what I'm saying? Because shit, remember when like Kind Bud came out? and Hydro came out.
Yep.
That was like that was the name of it. Then eventually
Perp, all of that.
Well, I think like what was it? He's from Western Massachusetts. Chemdog. That was like one of the first like strains that people would start asking for around here, anyways. Like Northern Lights that was something you read about in High Times. That was something you didn't fucking have that around here. No one. I still can't really find Northern Lights. You know what I mean?
I mean, Vermont was a different place up in the mountains.
You know. So when's the first time you stole your parents' weed?
Yeah, so I actually have an interesting story.
They had strain names when he was born.
He actually got it from the dispensary down the street.
I have a little interesting story. So I actually started selling before I smoked.
Okay.
So I was selling weed.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So I was selling weed when I was 15 or 14. Smoked when I was 15. And for me,
hold on. Where were you? Ohio?
Yeah,
Country Ohio, city Ohio.
Columbus.
Columbus.
City.
Okay. Here you go.
So I was younger, but I always sold before I smoked. That's just the business side of me. And I first smoked. It was in my parents' basement. And we were just we were tearing it up down there in the crawl space because there was only one vent in the back, and we were got caught actually that night. And I convinced my dad that it was a skunk outside with a frozen waffle in my hand.
How much weed did your dad smoke?
None.
That's what you think.
I know, right? So yeah, the first time I did it, I had my boys in my house, and we just smoked in the basement. That was the thing. They brought over some weed. We had no clue what it was. Like you said, it was for me growing up. It was, you have weed? Yes. Okay. Well, what's the price? That was it. There was no other conversation.
No, there wasn't. What's the price? It was $100 for an ounce. That's what it was across the board.
Well, you had good pricing then.
Well,
we didn't have that in Columbus, Ohio. I can tell you that.
Well, how much?
They're still paying $3.50 an ounce on the black market in Columbus.
Bro, I'm in the wrong motherfucking place. This is crazy. Like that's $350 for an ounce of weed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in some dispensaries, it's $350 an ounce.
In Ohio, a dispensary is probably $400. It's medical only there, so it's different. But Ohio weed, they're still paying $350 an ounce.
That's crazy.
The black market.
Wow.
That's crazy. You guys have a dispensary in the wrong places. I mean, shit. Fuck.
That's why they're waiting on dispensaries to open in Ohio right now.
Mm-hmm.
Go rec because it's medical right now.
So, do you ever hit this guy's bong or his rig?
Pause.
Do you even know what pause is? Yeah. Okay, well, because you hang out with this guy long enough, you know what pause is. Right. But you wouldn't on your own. All right. So I watch it as what it is.
No, I actually haven't. And it's funny. We roommate in New York, in New Jersey together.
So you have hit the rig.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
When he not around.
Well, I have a gigantic bong right there. It's not. It's broken in the back. If you want to pull it out real quick, this guy might actually.
White truffle for you. Aaron.
Let's see.
This thing right here. No, this is the biggest. What's this thing?
Oh shit!
Jesus.
It's cracked, so we can't we fill it up really quick to use it. But like I put something on it. But this is the biggest water bong you've ever seen in your life. Like the biggest gravity bong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
So this right here was found like in someone who was cleaning out apartments that were like dilapidated to get torn down, and it was in like a barn. And the guy that made this pull that up. Hold on. The guy that made that knew what the fuck he was doing.
Wow.
Because it's like science, it's math. Like the way that when you slide it in and out, you can tell that whoever like made that was clearly heavily into gravity bongs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like was also heavily into blowing glass and math. So like they had to know, like the right person had to know how to fucking make that thing. But it hits like
because you see the holes down at the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
it pulls out slowly, goes down.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. Even if like a grain of sand gets stuck in there, you can't slide it. It won't work. It's like that. It's like that. It's airtight. Wow. It's crazy. That's what I realized. One day I was sitting there high, and I'm like, holy shit! Like the amount of thought that went into this thing, like because no one I've ever seen it. We can fire it up.
They can't reduplicate it. Have you tried to have somebody remake it?
Yeah, I've had a couple of people like take a look at it. You can do them now with 3D printing and shit. You can like do some 3D printing shit to it, but that's like a brand new thing. Up until about very very recently, no. You know what I mean? That's why I had to like put the stuff on the outside. We were gonna have another guy try to fix it, but they couldn't. There wasn't a kiln big enough for it. So you can
still smoke at it? It's still
yeah, we can still smoke at it.
I want to see that.
Yeah, we will. We'll at the end of it, we will. I don't want to pull that because the water will leak if I leave it sitting there for too long. After like 15 minutes, water will leak out of it. I have to get someone to like point it and seal it, which I can do, but it's just a pain in the ass.
Man, I love you, Chris. Man, you funny dude.
Well,
Let's talk about some of these pictures on your wall, man.
What you want to know about?
Who did the Mike Tyson one right there? That's a dope.
That's Mak-Tube. Mak-Tube did. That's on metal.
Oh wow.
That's on metal. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's on metal. The Prodigy. That's on metal. It's over there. The Prodigy over there. That's Mak-Tube, the guy behind you, Van Bates. That's on metal. When he passed away, the names behind you, that's all on metal. Most of these are on metal.
Got some dope artwork here.
Yeah, Merc to the Sean Price. He did the Nas, Mize. A lot of these guys are dead too. That passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of these there's a lot of original paint pieces and bricks and spray paint cans and shit like that. From my brother passed away, and some other people passed away. And we can walk through all that later.
Oh, your brother was a tagger?
Graffiti artist, yeah.
Is that what they call them, taggers?
That's I guess that.
I don't know that world. That's why when you said spray paint cans, I was like,
I guess that calling someone that calling someone like a rapper, like you're just a rap, like it's you know what I mean, like nah,
yeah. See, I don't know the world. I didn't mean to be disrespectful. I didn't know.
No, I mean I don't know. I think you're just a graffiti artist.
Graffiti artist.
Yeah.
Because I down by Yamba, it's Yamba Market, which is a dispensary. What is that in Cambridge or whatever?
The Central Square Walk.
Central Wall, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had never seen that. And it was like 12 o'clock at night. They had the lights all lit up, and people were in there doing their thing. It was pretty dope.
Did you spend time in Atlanta?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Doesn't Atlanta have that shit's everywhere?
But that's on the east side, more east side.
That shit's
in Atlanta.
but nice graffiti, big huge pieces and shit like that. Down south because it's nice weather and shit like that. And the cities are kind of Boston's not really friendly with graffiti.
Oh really?
Boston's one of those cities you got to think about it. People send their kids here to go to school. Rich people send their kids here to go to school. It's all this computers and marketing and shit like that, and Cambridge with all the analytical stuff and. That's where the money in the country is. That's the biotechnical shit and everything. So Boston's very clean. You know what I'm saying?
It is definitely clean.
You know what I mean? Fernway though, what's next for Fernway?
I'll take this one, I think.
Oh shit! Here we go. Mason stepping up.
Step up, Mason.
Yeah. So for us,
get your name back.
We got New York launching in February, so we're really focused on New York. Really exciting on New Jersey. For us, we're really focusing on expanding our assortment of pre-rolls. So we really want to use tried with the concentrate infused joint. That was an R&D sample. So we
hold on. You wanted what?
Really want to expand on the pre-roll category.
Okay, but what's you said something with the?
It was that was a concentrate infused joint. So
concentrate infused joint.
We're calling them diamond joints.
Diamond
joints. So the
joints,
mango one you smoked. So that's a brand new product for us. We're coming out with that in March. So we're really excited about those March and April. So we really want to focus on hitting those consumers that really still want to get actually high, that real high, the concentrate infused joint. But we will also want to still have that flavor, right? That mango, like you said, and stuff like that. So we really want to focus on the pre-roll category and the vape category, and really just refining on what that looks like for consumers.
Excellent. It's crazy how far cannabis brings you in the world. You probably never even would think you're in Weymouth right now. You wouldn't even have got here with all these products up in here. As we think about stuff like that, where's some place that you've been, that you've looked up and been like, holy shit, cannabis brought me here?
So you were talking about the roll-up, getting ready for the new ones.
Okay, yeah.
So at the fairgrounds, not the year of the roll-up. Well, actually, it was the year of the roll-up. I think it was the first time I actually saw something open consumption in Massachusetts. That was really just amazing to look around and seeing open cannabis bars and dab bars. Where before, to go to one of those, it was somewhere in Boston in a parking lot or a warehouse somewhere. Where it wasn't the same experience. So having something that's open, that's something that cannabis has brought to me that I just. It's one of those moments I had to stop for a second.
How about you? Is there a time that you've have you smoked with anyone that you've been like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm smoking with this person right now?
Yeah, I think a time for me is back in my days when I was at Curaleaf. I did a lot in Florida, and so I've never seen a real big grow before. But we had a 1 million+ square foot grow down there.
Oh shit, that's a big one.
Of canopy, so not even just of space, of canopy. Yeah. And so to stand in a room where it's endless weed, and I mean endless
how big
plant.
How fucking?
It's large. It's insane. The facility is indoor, outdoor. It's huge. And so down there, being in that grow where you're just looking and it's just rows and rows of weed, it was shocking. It took you back every single time you walk in that room. It's 1 million+ square feet of canopy, and it's just endless rows.
That's dope.
Puts a different perspective on things.
It really does. And you know I'm going to ask you, but I swear, you've smoked weed with some cool ass people. I know you have.
Well, I mean, I think the thing for me is just knowing who smokes weed. Right, mm-hmm. And the reason they can't say they smoke weed is because of all their other endorsements. But it would be dope because it then really normalizes weed. Like your favorite actor smokes weed on a regular basis, but because he can't say it now, he can be in a room, we could do an event, but when it's time to take the picture, he's got to take it away because he's got to deal with Disney or he's got to deal with Nike and he can't do it. But weed is a lot more normal than what most people think. I mean, some of the most highly productive and efficient people smoke weed. Yeah. Right? They just can't say it. I mean, Oprah smokes weed. Kevin Hart smokes weed. I mean, there's a lot of people who smoke weed. They just don't really push it out there because of the brand that they have. But it's as normal as drinking alcohol.
It's excuse me. Alcohol in cannabis, you get into that whole conversation, and I hate like that tit for tat because it's a completely different thing. Mm-hmm. Like it's not even as normal as drinking alcohol. It will become more normalized as time goes on. It's made a far way quick, but cannabis is good for you. Mm-hmm. Alcohol is not.
Right.
Even like on a small scale, alcohol is not good for you. It's literally poison. You're literally putting poison in your body. And I drank for a long time. I don't drink now, but that's not why I'm saying it. I'm just saying that when people always debate with that, well, it's like kind of like drinking, but it's not. It's not like drinking at all. It's the opposite. Tommy Chong had cancer. Tommy Chong got rid of cancer through cannabis. Tommy Chong went to jail. His cancer came back. Tommy Chong got out of jail, took his cannabis again, his cancer went away. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking, that's a fact. There's people I know personally that have beaten cancer. Personally, I know Mike Robinson beat stage 4 cancer 3 times. 3 fucking times. I think he's battling a 4th time right now. Like, he's still here. Like, that's crazy. Like, cannabis. Nothing but cannabis. He'll tell you that.
But the difference is between alcohol and cannabis really is, to your point, and which is why it's going to be more widely used, is because it does have a medicinal effect. Yes. So, you have the brands that are, go strictly towards it does this and it solves this. And then you have the brands that are like more lifestyle.
Yeah.
So when you think about Fernway, one of the things that the 4 founders were very adamant on was not making any claims. Like the reason I started smoking weed for the first time because I was defiant, or I wanted to try it because my older had nothing to do with being healed. I was 14 years old. I ain't had no ailments, right? And so they wanted to just be true to that. Like the reason people smoke weed is there are the people who need it for medicinal reasons, but there are other people who just do it because it makes them feel good. It makes them relax. It's not healing, and even relaxing is actually a healing process, but it has nothing to do with I have this ailment. It's more about the lifestyle and the ritual of doing it and how it makes you feel.
I agree, because there is a mental aspect to it, like 100%. But there is also like we didn't know we were getting healed.
Correct.
But it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things, and just alcohol actually just tears you down. And I'm not trying to get into the debate about that or anything with that. But cannabis, on the long run, it's good for you. Like little did we know that as it expands, it will become more and more like you see commercials for Budweiser during football games. Mm-hmm. You can't drink and play football at the same time. I don't know if you ever try to do that, but you get your leg broken or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how you get hurt. They used to have cigarette ads in Sports Illustrated. But as time goes, like, and now, like, it will go the other way. As cannabis's properties come out, there'll be companies that come out that talk about nothing but just health benefits from it.
There's the new LA stadium, actually, that's going to have the smoking section that they're building out right now.
Get the fuck out of here.
Really?
Yeah, it's is it the Clippers, I think, or
the Clippers is doing a new stadium.
The Dodgers?
The Clippers' new stadium is going to have a 21 plus cannabis consumption area. They haven't gone into whether it's going to be combustion friendly or just vape, and like I don't know the logistics on it. But it's
starting.
Built. Yeah,
it's starting.
It's a section where they're going to start allowing it. I mean, one of the great things about New York is when they legalized cannabis, you could legally consume anywhere you wanted as long as you could smoke cigarettes in that area. Mm-hmm. So you go to a state fair, you go to a public area. If there's people that are allowed to consume something like a cigarette, which is harmful, you should be allowed to consume something that's beneficial like cannabis. To go even farther, Massachusetts last year, all the DCR properties, if you have a medical card, and a lot of people don't realize this, you can consume on those public park properties.
Damn. Okay.
So the Department of Recs for Massachusetts put out a statement last year. If you're a medical card holder, feel free to go in the park, have a picnic, bring your rig, bring your bong. As long as you're just consuming for medicinal use in the eyes of the state, that's public land that you should be able to consume on.
Huh. You just got my wheels turning right there. Because now I want to pull up like an 8-foot fucking bong just to like, you know what I'm saying? Like some ridiculous fucking huge, the biggest thing you could think of, and like just cause a scene and be like, but I don't know. I'm just high. Fucking, is there anything else you guys want to talk about, Fernway, before we take off here?
I think we've covered it. All the markets, New Jersey,
all your markets. You don't got any more bullets in your gun?
Well, I just wanted to say, man, I think you're doing an amazing job with your platform.
Thank you.
And inviting us to do it. I mean, we met, at an event, and you were like, yo, I'm going to have you on my podcast. And I was like, all right. And I kind of forgot about it. And you were like, yo, let's do it. So I just want to commend you for, everything you're doing and your platform and the messaging and, making sure that people are understanding this product the way it should be understood versus all the misconceptions. So just want to give you your flowers on that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. What we try to do here is just, have one, a good time. And two, just try to talk like regular people about, because there is always a sales pitch, and there is it's not a bad thing, but it's because there has to be right now, because there's so much convincing to do to people. So it feels like you always have your back against the wall when you're like talking about cannabis and stuff, or how you got into it, or what your past is. And you know what? Fuck all that. Like, we're all here, we're all hard workers, and cannabis isn't something that's for lazy people and dumb people. It's the smartest people and the hardest workers I know are heavy cannabis consumers.
That's because they get a good night's sleep too.
I mean, that opens up a whole nother category of like CBN and just tertiary cannabinoids that are just great for sleeping. That's one of the things I've
come on, just give us a minute. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's research that's just started going on. One of the guys that does some great products in Massachusetts is Bay State Hemp. John's been making these products that use no active THC cannabinoids, but CBD, CBN, CBG. The CBN is going to be one of the best relaxing cannabinoids you're ever going to have. If you're looking for flower, it's going to put you to sleep. Look for that high CBN content.
I love people that love what they talk about. Like, no matter what it is, and I'm saying that with all due respect. I love people that it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Like, they love that shit, and you'll talk that shit to a wall, and you're like, just as excited, like, yo, they know, because they're both seeing you do it.
Yeah.
They're both seeing you do it, and they're like you got them trapped, don't he? The guy's trying to escape, and you're just like, but I love it, man. I love it. You gotta love what you do, man. Loving what you do. We're all in weed.
Like Aaron said before, I mean, we get paid to sell weed.
That's what I'm saying. We're all on cannabis right now. We're like literally living a dream. We get to consume cannabis on camera, talking about cannabis, and then we all get to go home and do more jobs with cannabis. It's great. Can you guys tell Hush which camera do we want to use? This one right here, so they can talk about where you can find Fernway, your dispensaries, your locations where they can find your products, everything.
So the easiest thing you can do to find your Fernway is go to our website. There's a Find Your Fernway map that shows you all of the dispensaries in Massachusetts and New Jersey that carry our products.
We're in 170 plus doors in the state of Massachusetts. We're in pretty much all the doors in New Jersey, and soon, I think it's February 26th, we'll be in all the doors in New York.
Where can you find you online, social media platforms? Scott right there.
Fernway on Instagram, and that's the easiest way you're going to get in touch with us. All the links are going to be on that website as well, just fernway.com.
Fernway.com. You guys have any personal Instagrams or anything you want to talk about yourself? You want to tell these people where they can find you?
I'm all good. I appreciate it, though.
You good? Okay.
I'm not on Instagram.
All right. Everyone's good. Well,
I appreciate you, though.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
That seems like that's it right there, then. These motherfuckers are high. Fucking, you already know the deal. Tash Pawtcast. Appreciate you motherfuckers. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that shit. Fuck Kurt Schilling. Sense lives. Marty forever. Peace.